Gold FM is #1 here in Sigatoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is #1 in Nelly.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
Hear about bottled cola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sabi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
In this bulletin, Health Minister says there's no medicine shortage. Record tax collection for 2013. An anti-dengue campaign in full swing in the Central Division. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The Education Ministry is calling on all secondary school heads to refrain from charging students any type of fees. The ministry has noted some schools are still demanding students' fees despite the government paying for all education this year. And late this afternoon, more anger at the ministry headquarters with the discovery of a high school outside Suva managing to enroll only 60 students 2 days into the start of the term. Vosita Kotewasawasa reports.
The Education Ministry is very much aware of all schools that are disregarding the government directive not to charge students any fees.
I just want to bring it to the attention of the school management that's illegal to charge fees. Please abide by our instruction. We have given enough grants to handle things and please don't charge any fees.
Dr. Bridgelal says his ministry will come down hard on any school management that is still charging school fees.
Those schools that are doing that, you are breaching the regulations and I don't want any parent in this country except those going to private school to pay any type of fees.
Meanwhile, Education Minister Philippe Mbole has warned teachers of Lami High School he will have the school closed down if the school roll doesn't increase. The minister was visiting schools around the Suva-Lami corridor to find out how students were settling into the school year academically. The minister is blaming the laxity of teachers and parents for the low enrollment of only 60 students here at Lami High. Philippe Mbole will be visiting schools in Navua tomorrow. Vasita Kotewasawasa, FBC News.
The health minister says Fiji does not have a medicine shortage. Dr. Neil Sharma says blood pressure drugs such as nifedipine is being replaced with modern medicine because it's not readily available. Christopher Chand reports.
Putting speculation to rest, the health minister says they have enough drugs in stock.
Really, there is no major drug shortage in the country, and I can reassure you that that is so. Sometimes once medication comes in, it needs to be distributed on time.
Part of the reforms that are taking shape in the public health sector is the introduction of new medicine.
Certain items we have phased out. Based on information we receive from the National Medicines and Therapeutic Committee, we phase out older items and we have replaced that with other medication which is now available in generic form. We are looking at phasing out the use of nifedipine, which is a drug to reduce blood pressure, with newer drugs.
Government is now buying medicine direct from manufacturers to reduce costs. Close to 75 medicines are now under price control. These steps are being taken to ensure medication is freely available at hospitals and at a nominal charge through pharmacies. The ministry is ensuring the right number of medication is in stock to cater for the needs of all Fijians. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
The Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority has had another bumper of tax collection. 2013 revenue collection hit an all-time high of $1.86 billion against a target of $1.85 billion. FERCA Chief Executive Chitoko Tikolevu says the collection is higher than the original forecast by $7.7 million. Tikolevu adds the 2013 achievement is $118 million more than what was collected in 2012. The improved performance signals a positive revenue outlook for this year. It's been a dry start to the year across Fiji, with less than half the normal rainfall in January so far. In this report, Akosita Tale finds out the cause of the dry spell.
It's been unusually hot the past few weeks, And with the warm temperatures at night, we are in the midst of a dry spell that could last for a while.
For this time of the year, it's really hot. We are still in the summer season, and the heating always peak in January to March. January, February, March is the peak period for the heating to be going on until in April, the transition month. Then the cooling will start to come in as we go on to the dry season.
Suva and Avoy have received the most rain, around 70% of their average total, but in the west, rain has been only around 16 to 30%, and the north only 18 to 52% of the average for this time of the year.
Rainfall deficiencies being reported over many places. Of course, reservoirs will be falling, but also on the outer islands we'll start to see decreases in groundwater.
We took to the streets to ask how people are dealing with the sweltering heat.
Yeah, the weather has to be, because this is our cyclone season, so it's meant to be hot. So we just have to go with the flow.
Bloody hot. It's really hot.
It's been very, very hot lately. Yeah, it's just been very, very hot.
The continuing dry spell is affecting the public in more ways than one. Reservoirs are now recording low water levels, resulting in water cuts in Suva last week. If this continues, we could be experiencing more water shortages around the country. Akuseta Tale, FBC News.
After the break, Fijian volunteers ready to serve in Vanuatu.
Today FM is #1 here in Singatoka.
We love Today FM in Lambasa. It rocks!
My favorite station in Nandi is Today FM.
Listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks in Suva.
Lotta City love today's kid music.
I love Today FM because they play all my songs.
We love Today FM at Vuniva Lambasa. Yeah, it rocks!
I love Today FM because it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Students from the outer islands are still looking for accommodation as officials try to rectify the problem of the 2 closed dormitories at Nasinu Secondary School. Questions are now being raised as to why parents were not informed of the situation beforehand. Aliti Vervo reports.
Parents and students from the outer islands are the most affected with the closure of the Nasinu Secondary School dormitory. And for these parents, the sky is the limit for the sacrifices they have to make. One such parent is 43-year-old Susana Mavawa, who is willing to walk with her son for over a mile every morning just so he can attend school. She came all the way from Banga to enroll her son at the Nasinu Secondary School last week, only to be told that the dorms will not be ready for a while.
We are here to enroll our son to be a boarder at the school, but was told that Form 6 and Form 7 students is still under repair. So my son is traveling daily from Cunningham to school.
The woman from Dakuimbanga in Banga says it's hard, but she's doing it for the help of her son.
He just walks from Cunningham to school. We walk from Cunningham to Kinoya, where I drop him off and he comes to school. It's not hard for us because we come from the village, but maybe for other students it will be hard.
Although she is not deterred by the walk every morning, she is appealing to authorities to get it sorted out because she needs to attend to her other children in the village.
We plead with the authorities to please look into the matter as it is difficult for us. We come from far and we want our children to be taken care of before we leave. We also have a lot of work to be done in the village where we need to go back to.
Meanwhile, work on the girls' dormitories has begun and is expected to be completed in a few days. The boys' dormitories will take a little while longer. The Minister for Labour has confirmed that his ministry is now looking into the matter. But the question that does remain is, why were Susana and other parents just like her not informed of the matter weeks before school started? Aliti Vervo, FBC News.
The final group of local volunteer teachers will leave for Vanuatu in a little over a week's time. The event is historic because Vanuatu is the first Melanesian Spearhead Group member to recruit retired teachers from Fiji to fill gaps in its education system. Ritika Pratap reports.
It's a new beginning for these 11 retired teachers. Today they received their air tickets and other necessary paperwork that would see them leave the comforts of their home and family and take up appointments in Vanuatu.
You are representing the people of Fiji, and I beg that you be law-abiding citizens and good ambassadors of our country. Look after your health and look out for each other whilst on this assignment.
The volunteers were selected because of their field of expertise as well as the educational needs of Vanuatu's education ministry.
We are very clear in our terms of reference what these teachers will do. There is a clear MOU, Memorandum of Understanding or Agreement in place, and these teachers are also there with a view to be mentors, advisors, counselors, and imparting of knowledge and skills to their counterpart.
The schools that these teachers are going to have existing gaps. Their teachers, their subjects that are not being taught because there are gaps. So.
As for the retired teachers, they can't wait to take up the challenge.
What I'm worried about is their behavior more than anything else, but I've gathered that they are good, and so they need help. And with a trust in the Lord, I go confident.
I was lucky to be picked in this group, to be selected in this group, because I went through the selection process and the interview process by the officials of Ministry of Education from Vanuatu.
Deployed under the Fiji Volunteer Scheme, they'll be teaching English, agriculture, mathematics, economics, geography, biology, chemistry and physics. 12 of our teachers are in Marshall Islands, 6 are in Nauru, and another 9 are expected to leave for Tuvalu later this year. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
The Melanesian spearhead group Regional Police Academy in Nambukavesi Navua won't get off the ground anytime soon. The project, which was scheduled for construction in 2011, has been plagued by funding issues.
We think that because of the resources that's required to establish it, we have a lot more priorities ourselves. So, let me give you an example. To develop Wenandoi, you won't get very much change out of $20 million. To clean it out, clean the place out, do your drainage works, and start to design what kind of buildings you have.
The facility will train police officers from Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu and the Solomon Islands. A family who lost everything in a fire last week got a helping hand from Post Fiji today. Mera Gaunda had bought school materials for her 5 children from Post Fiji, and they were all destroyed in the fire. She later asked Post Fiji to provide the same supplies under its credit sales scheme. The company instead decided to provide stationery and other materials at no cost.
Management sat down with it. We had a thorough discussion about it, and they've all agreed to assist Ms. Gaunda and her family by giving her all the stationery that she had already bought, but now free of charge.
I am so... There's no words I can use to praise them. They were so, they came in, assistance came in at the right time. And it's so, I'm so happy for them. Without them, my kids wouldn't be at school today.
Gaunda and her family have been living at the Nasinu Police Barracks until they can find a house. The Social Welfare Minister, Dr. Chico Loveni, opened the stakeholders meeting on poverty alleviation and social protection today. The meeting was in partnership with the United Nations Economic and Social Commission in Asia Pacific. UNESCAP shared its social protection toolbox with the ministry, an online platform that supports policymakers and stakeholders build broader social protection systems.
UNESCAP have developed a toolkit to better monitor the progress that we've made in this program to ensure that the most deserving people get the assistance from us.
There are about 22,000 people under the Social Welfare Assistance Scheme. That time again, we turn to sports now, and here's Jamie with the latest.
Good evening. After the break, we get an update from the 7th side in Las Vegas, and we take a look at the revival of amateur boxing in Fiji. That's coming up.
Na Mbula FM rekrake taletaki.
Gonga elambasa Mbula FM nambando ena serre.
Ndo taleta kana borong ena Mbula FM nambando ena serre su.
Au vai tu garaki au nreba tu ni stima au ndo taleta kana borong ena Mbula.
Kalau bina Fiji Mbula FM nambando ena Singatoka.
Mbula bina era roga Mbula FM nambando atikonga.
Mbula FM nambando ena serre.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. A major draw card for this year's Fiji Sports Awards will be the presence of retired Vodafone Fiji Mbati skipper Petero Divonideva as chief guest. However, the Fiji Sports Council is facing a little hiccup because a few sporting bodies have submitted their nominations for the various awards on offer. Talenta Dakdaka has more.
The time has come again to recognize and applaud the achievements and commitment of athletes and officials over the past year. Adding to the excitement is retired former Vodafone Fiji Mbati skipper Petero Divonideva as chief guest, the latest in the line of key sports personalities to grace the awards.
In the past, we've had guest speakers come up and speak, after the dinner and address the crowd, and we've been very successful in having Gordon Teachins, Eric Rush, and they've been really good speakers in the past, and we're looking forward to another successful night with Petero addressing the guests that will be there on the night.
However, with only a day left until the cut-off date, the Fiji Sports Council is worried about the low number of nominations they have received.
So far we've received 4. Yeah, 4 nominations. Considering that we have more than 40 plus sporting bodies in the country, that's quite poor. And in the past, there's always been an extension. And we're always having to do that, and this has to come to a stop. We can't be extending every year, because then it starts to become the norm, where the organizations start to feel that, oh, they're going to give us an extra some more deadline.
With only 24 hours left before the deadline, organizers are calling for a quick response from the sporting bodies to nominate those they feel deserve recognition. Chalendo the Kavak, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Sevens team is hard at work in Las Vegas as they prepare for big pool matches this weekend. Sledge pushing was one of the tough drills the team endured this week, all in the name of building core strength to ensure they are ready for the ground conditions offered at the Sam Boyd Stadium.
And they do their extra work, and there are times where I give them a lot of opportunity to do different things in attack and defence with a framework. So. It's how I coach. I'm never going to change that. I feel that the players have reacted really well to it, and I think maybe that freedom that I've given them is helping them play.
Fiji first take on Scotland, then Australia on Saturday. Before the pool game, most fans are anticipating New Zealand on Sunday. Amateur boxing in Fiji may have been down for a while, but it's certainly not out. Organizers are confident the ongoing issue of reviving the sport is under control. Now it's only a matter of providing more fight time for the young talent who show up to fight. Elena McDonald reports from ringside.
Round 3.
Over the last 3 days, young boxers have drawn first blood for their chosen sport. In only his second fight, Jaljit, who's come all the way from Tavua to the capital, knows it was worth the travel time.
He was a tough fighter. But I made myself strong heart, so that I should not be afraid of you.
This young heavyweight realized rugby is not his true calling.
Just from my old pal in secondary school, Joe Brown, he gave a good, tough match.
The most entertaining fight was between Jonathan Hill and Ben Matairavula of the Warriors Boxing Club. This fight captivated fans for the whole 2x3 minute rounds.
In the ring it was tough, can never take any opponent lightly, because you never know, in boxing one lucky shot can put you off to sleep, so yeah, it was really tough.
His younger brother Winston is building his reputation as a bull in the ring, winning by a unanimous decision over Antonia Peter. From now on, the National Fitness Centre in Suva will play hub to amateur boxing. What this means is it'll serve as a hub for training for boxers and a venue for more fight nights. Similar rings will be set up in Lotoka and Lambasa, meaning the bell for the revival of amateur boxing may actually have been rung. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
Good news for Hobie sailors. They'll be sending their full national team to the Hobie 16 World Championships in Sydney, Australia. Financial constraints would have seen only 2 teams travel. However, Fiji Fish Company Director Graham Southwick, who is also a member of the team, has stepped in and contributed over $30,000 to cover travel and accommodation costs for the 6-member team.
These are all young guys that are pretty well out of work and don't have jobs, and they have become the backbone of the Hobie racing fleet, and they've been doing very well internationally, although sailing in Fiji, but against international teams they've done extremely well, and we thought this is just a chance that cannot be missed.
Southwick will leave for Sydney on January 31st, while the rest of the team leaves on the 6th of next month. Manchester United's season of misery hit new depths as Sunderland won a penalty shootout to secure a Capital One Cup final place against Manchester City at Wembley. United drew first blood 38 minutes into play, but Sunderland equalized in extra time to take it to a shootout. Here are the highlights.
In by Januzaj, Welbeck, now they have their goal! Johnny Evans crept in! Bardsley, room for a shot. Bartley hits it, De Gea's lost it, and Sunderland have the goal that could take them to Wembley. Alonso, that's a good one. And he scores, and Manchester United finally. A certain penalty from the Korean.
That's it from Sports Tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
National carrier Fiji Airways is strengthening its regional network with 2 additions to its South Pacific schedule. The airline is introducing a new direct weekly service between Nadi and Honiara in the Solomon Islands and a 3rd weekly service between Suva and Funafuti, the capital of Tuvalu. Funafuti flights begin on June 21st, while the Honiara flights begin on July 1st. Stefan Pickler, Fiji Airways Managing Director and CEO, says the South Pacific region is a key growth target and they will increase capacity by almost 90%. In a further boost, the airline will have 6 flights a week between Fiji, Samoa and Fiji, Tonga, and 5 flights between Fiji and Vanuatu by mid-2014. And the heat continues. How's things on the weather front, Jen?
Still very much the same, Jackie. In fact, this mixed bag of conditions is likely to follow through to the weekend. If you're finding it difficult to dress for work in the morning, trust me, you're not alone. On one hand, the forecast says afternoon showers and thunderstorms, and on the other hand, it's way too hot to cover up. And while we're on the topic of heat, let's look at temperatures. Yes, I know you were hoping to see some 20s here, but it's still the same 3 numbers, 32, 33 and 34 degrees. Showers continue tomorrow over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. You can also expect isolated afternoon or evening thunderstorms. Mariners, I won't forget you today. East to southeast winds are at 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. And it's photo time. Rita Narayan is our photographer of the day. A trip to Nambala Sere Saivo in Ra, and look what she got us. Half of me is in awe, Jackie, and the other half is so frustrated with this heat, it wants to cry.
Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. A quick recap before we go. Education Minister warns Lami High School to improve its role or face closure. Health Minister says Fiji does not have a medicine shortage. And record tax collection for Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority in 2013. Now on to our poll question. This week we're asking, is our Sevens team to Las Vegas Ben Ryan's strongest since his appointment as coach? Visit the FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's news for tonight. Join us again tomorrow at the same time. Good night.
Ito singa to kung tali ta na warong na radio fijuan na station yalmutua.
Ako na koro ko na tali lagi. Mandaw tali tagi dia na warong radio fijuan.
Kitongo isu untuk tali ta na warong na radio fijuan station yalmutua.
Keto tali ta na radio fijuan. Na radio fijuan endo tali ta kitalanga sintoka. Station di Matchdo Pinatia na radio fijuan. Kompa ke yan.
Na Radio Fijuan nandu mai bitin bonga ni BNN.